Hey guys, today we are going to actually continue our discussion of how to write an expository essay. And today we're going to talk about introductions. Yesterday we talked about the body paragraphs and how to create those using our examples from history, entertainment, literature, or personal examples. And today we're going to talk about introductions, specifically the two things that every introduction needs in an expository essay. A hook to grab the reader's attention, and a controlling idea that will organize the rest of the paper. So here's the thing, we've already created our controlling idea. That's the first thing we're always going to create because it helps to organize all of our other ideas and examples. And so today we're going to talk specifically about different types of hooks that will grab the reader's attention. So when we look at this introduction paragraph, I want you to pay attention to the different kinds of hooks. The hook appears in italics, the controlling idea is underlined. So here's an introductory paragraph. Would you dare visit Elephant Island? Found just off the coast of Antarctica, this frigid, windswept place has a bleak, one-of-a-kind beauty, but it's hardly welcoming to humans. Let's take a close look at the history, geographic features, and wildlife of this remote, rugged island. If you were to name this kind of hook, that part in italics, what would you name it? In fact, this is a rhetorical question or a question. And notice it starts with a question and then it answers the question. One thing that I want to caution you about if you use questions, and a lot of kids do, make it an interesting question that provokes some thought. And one of the ways that you can do that is by answering your question right here. But if you just ask a simple yes or no that doesn't require any real consideration, it's sort of a throwaway hook. But this one, would you dare visit Elephant Island? Well, the word dare makes me think, oh, there must be something kind of dangerous about it. And then the description of it as being frigid, which means super duper cold. Windswept means there's a lot of wind, which probably just makes it colder. Bleak. That means there's not a lot to look at. There's not a lot of people there. But it's a one-of-a-kind beauty. It's hardly welcoming to humans. Man, this is a question I'd have to really go back and consider now that I know what Elephant Island is. Would I really go there? Even though it's beautiful, a one-of-a-kind beauty, you gotta really want to go there. So this is a great example of a question that really does make the reader go back and consider, oh, wait, would I really go there? What about this one? Each year, an astounding 35,000 travelers from around the world set sail for a cold and windy place where there are no resorts, no restaurants, and no stores. These hardy adventurers are eager to explore and photograph Antarctica's dramatic Elephant Island. Let's take a close look at the history, geographic features, and wildlife of this remote, rugged island. So our thesis statement, our controlling idea that's underlined, is exactly the same as before, but now our author has played around a little bit with the type of hook. An astounding 35,000 travelers from around the world. That is a statistic. That's an incredible statistic because 35,000 people are wanting to go to this place around the world that has no resorts, no restaurants, and no stores. That's not exactly the kind of place where most people would take a vacation. So the fact that 35,000 people want to do this, that's a pretty great statistic, which you can get from doing a little research. Imagine cruising through a crystal clear sea where glassy sheets of ice and majestic glaciers float with the currents. Straight ahead, a mountainous island soars into the sky and your heart races with excitement as you approach. Without a doubt, it would be the adventure of a lifetime to explore Elephant Island. Let's take a close look at the history, geographic features, and wildlife of this remote, rugged island. If you were to name this kind of hook, what would it be? This is, in fact, a descriptive segment. They're painting a picture of what it looks like with crystal clear sea, glassy sheets of ice, majestic glaciers, a mountainous island. It gives you a picture in your head as the reader of what Elephant Island is going to look like. The controlling idea, still the same. We're going to talk about the history, that's main idea 1, the geographic features, that's main idea 2, and the wildlife of the remote island, that's main idea 3. But What's changing each time is the author is playing around with different types of hooks to hook the reader's attention. Let's try one more. It might be hard to believe, but there's a species of seal that can weigh up to 8,000 pounds. This immense blubbery animal is called an elephant seal, and it has a whole island named after it. Let's take a close look at the history, geographic features, and wildlife of this remote, rugged island. If you were to name this kind of hook in italics, a species of seal, that can weigh up to 8,000 pounds, what would you call that? That, in fact, is an amazing fact, or an interesting fact. This, like a seal that weighs 8,000 pounds, that's like a lot of weight. That's like 3 or 4 cars worth of weight. And it's called an elephant seal, and it has a whole island. So it must be a pretty special, amazing type of animal if it has a whole island named after it. The first time I saw a photograph of Antarctica's Elephant Island, I thought it had been taken on another planet. That was when I vowed to someday visit this otherworldly empire of ice. Let's take a close look at the history, geographic features, and wildlife of this remote, rugged island. Here, our author does something different. What would you name this kind of hook? Or standing on the stirring ice, one can imagine it is disturbed by the breathing and the tossing of the mighty giant below. That's how polar explorer Sir Ernest Henry Shackleton describes his first impression of Elephant Island in Antarctica, where he and his crew were stranded for 21 months between 1914 to 1916. Let's take a close look at the history, geographic features, and wildlife of this remote, rugged island. If you were to name this kind of hook, what would it be? Well, hopefully these quotation marks give you a little idea. This is a quotation. We're taking a quote from someone who's been there, and a quotation could be a famous person like Sir Ernest Henry Shackleton, an explorer, or it could be a quote from someone that you know, like your grandmother or a friend. It depends on what you're writing about. And so in this case, because we're writing about a place, we see that a person who's been to this place is giving the quote. So in your notes, you might want to write down the following. Every expository introduction needs a hook to catch your reader's attention with. We talked about that. And that kind of hook could be a question, an amazing or unusual fact, a descriptive segment, a quote, a statistic, or even just an anecdote, a short personal example or reflection. The other thing that every introduction needs is a controlling idea. And that controlling idea, remember, is like a one-sentence plan that's going to tell the reader your topic and your main ideas or reasons. If we go back and look, here's our hook. Here's our controlling idea with our topic. Okay, the rugged island, that's the topic. The rugged island is Elephant Island. And then our history is main idea 1, geographic features is main idea 2, and wildlife is main idea 3. So let's practice a little bit. Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. That's the advice of Babe Ruth, one of baseball's most beloved and enduring heroes. Nicknamed the Bambino, this bold brass champion ruled Major League Baseball between the years of 1914 to 1935. Let's trace the progression of his spectacular career from his early days as a pitcher through his peak years of home run hitting for the New York Yankees and on to his induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. If you were to choose what the hook is and what the controlling idea is, what would it be? Yeah, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. That's the hook. And then let's trace the progression of his spectacular career from his early days as pitcher through his peak years of home run hitting for the New York Yankees and on to his induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's the thesis or the controlling idea. It's going to tell you the topic and the main ideas. So in fact, using that same paragraph, what is the topic and what are the 3 main ideas? The topic is Babe Ruth. The main idea is, the first main idea is when he was a pitcher. Notice I highlighted it in yellow. The second main idea is when he was a home run hitter, or his home run hitting ability. is highlighted in green. And then the third main idea is his time in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Remember, that controlling idea is going to tell you basically like what are the next 3 paragraphs coming up. So after this paragraph, the introduction, the next paragraph is going to be about a pitcher. The next paragraph is going to be about home run hitting. The next paragraph is going to be about the Baseball Hall of Fame. What type of hook is being used by the author? Of course, this is a quotation. Like I said, hopefully the quotation marks give it away. And this is a quotation from Babe Ruth himself, which is pretty great since the whole paper is going to be about Babe Ruth. Let's try another one. Imagine the rip-roaring, gravity-defying fun of maneuvering a snowboard from the summit of a snowy slope. As you carve your way down the mountain with the wind in your face, you just might decide that winter is your favorite season of all. To enjoy this super exciting sport, you're going to need specialized equipment including warm, waterproof clothing, well-fitting boots, the right type of board, and of course, a sturdy safety helmet. Yeah. If we were to look at the hook, that part is all highlighted in red, and the controlling idea is all highlighted in blue. In this case, what is the topic of this paragraph? It's the same paragraph as before. What's the topic? What are the main ideas? Remember, you can find those in the controlling idea. Yeah, the topic is snowboarding. The first main idea is waterproof clothing. These are all, in fact, probably this is going to be all about snowboarding equipment. The first main idea is waterproof clothing. The second main idea is well-fitting boots. The third main idea is the right type of board. And the fourth main idea is the safety helmet. When we're thinking about this, what kind of hook does the author use? So look at that very first few lines at the beginning, the part that was highlighted in red earlier. Yeah, this is a descriptive segment. This is the author painting a picture of what it's like to go snowboarding. As you begin to create your essays, remember that the introduction includes 2 things, a hook and a controlling idea. You're probably going to start off your planning by creating your controlling idea because that's going to tell you what the main ideas or the main reasons are going to be throughout your essay. Later, you can always go back and add a hook. Remember, you can add any type of hook that you choose. It can be a quotation, it could be a question. Make sure it's an interesting question that really makes the reader think. It could be a statistic, an amazing fact or unusual fact. It could even be a personal anecdote or a personal story. Or this, as so greatly done right here on this slide, a descriptive segment that makes the reader understand what it feels like, what it looks like, or why it's important. Now I want you to go back to your assignment from yesterday and create create a hook for your introductory paragraph.